What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's recap time for France versus South Africa. That took place on Saturday night. Another epic game. Edge of the seat material. Jeepers, I was up and down like a yo-yo. I just couldn't sit still. But holy macaroni, that was a truly epic game. Credit to both teams for putting up their all, showing so much heart and passion for the game. Credit to France for really showing up. I mean, they haven't had the greatest of years, but I mean, you saw a lot of improvement, a lot of hope for the future for French rugby, and it's so good to see, and credit to them for putting up a valiant fight. It's always heartbreaking to lose at the end like that, but these things happen. South Africa's lost games very similar to this to the All Blacks, so I feel for you guys, but credit to you guys. Keep your heads up high. You definitely had a good game. To the Boks, what a comeback. What a win in the last minute. I mean, credit to Francois Lowe for getting that penalty in the dying minutes in order for us to start attacking. And then the 85th minute try from Bongi. Look, there's a lot of negatives and a lot of positives, but for me, one thing that stood out that I'm quite proud of as a Springbok supporter is that they came back at the end and they didn't give up. Now, we've seen South Africa get tired, lazy out a bit against the teams like the All Blacks, where we lost in Loftus, where it became so intense. But it was good to see the boys hold on, not give up, keep trying, keep going for the opportunity, and showing a winning attitude, which you don't always see. When we're under pressure, we really are under pressure, and it shows. But I was proud of the team for what they achieved at the end. It was close. There were some question marks to be asked, but I was proud of the effort that they showed. And I think they need to take that confidence in against Scotland, because that's going to be a very interesting game too. You can never count out the Scots. They'll be confident of a tough victory, but a good victory against Fiji. And we'll be wanting to take a different game plan in order to improve. There are a lot of question marks for me. I don't know what was wrong with Faf de Klerk. He did not have a great game. His box kicking was too much. The kicking was too much. And I know I go at this quite a bit, but I mean, if it's not working, why continue doing it? Why continue with these up and unders if they're not working? I know Enquiries and Dianti can catch a ball in the air and do something about it, but it just, some of the times his kicking is unnecessary. When the Springboks run the ball, they are so much better. They get the gaps. We saw it against the All Blacks. We saw it against Australia when we won here in South Africa, in Port Elizabeth. If we run the ball more, we're getting the opportunities. We're finding the breaks. We have the players to bounce through. Delenda and Kriel are powerful centres who can find the gaps, and from that pass on to your wings. If we do that more, we will get more tries and capitalise on it. I just get fed up with the kicking, and I don't know what the strategy is with Rassie with this, because it doesn't always work. Again, if you're confident enough to do it, but don't be predictable of it, because you kick it straight down the throat of your opponents, and they have the ball again, and they'll run it winning. That for me was a big weakness, and Faf needs to figure out a strategy, because when the man passes and runs, or does sneaky go through the gap with his speed, he's genius. And yes, there are days like the Loftus game where his box kicking was pretty impressive. But if it's not working, don't do it. Run with the damn ball and go forward. And it just frustrates me, because we have the potential, we have the speed, we have the players to bounce through these countries. But if we're not using our brains while doing these things, we're never going to get anywhere. We've got fantastic wings. Utilise them with a running play. How do you think Brian Abana always scored tries? They pass, boom, he's got a gap. And when we do it well. But we need to do it more in order to achieve some success within the ball. That was my biggest issue with the game. Some other points, obviously, Bongi, for me, stole the show. Credit to him. He's been receiving a little bit of criticism within like the playing skills, but I've always thought he was a great player and deserves his place in the Springboks, and I'm really happy for him that he scored a great try in the end there. A very great stuff. Obviously, the luck was on our side in certain situations for the Springboks, and it definitely helped us, and we capitalised on it. And we obviously, I mean, you scored a try in the 85th minute. There's a lot of luck to hold on, but credit to them for holding on. Question mark, and this question for you guys, obviously. The high hit on Colby, that went unpunished for me. He obviously, in the 69th minute, nearly got that try, but for me, it was quite high on him, and nothing was done. So I was a bit disappointed in that. Faf's also, his put-ins to the scrum were odd. They were very questionable. So other things that need to go back to the drawing board for me. But for me, it was a feel-good victory for the Springboks. But there's a lot of improvement that needs to be made. We need to start rethinking on how we're going to capitalise and maybe change our strategy a bit, especially the kicking game, and attack with our wings and play the game we're strong at. Play what Eddie would call the simple way of the Springboks. Because if we effective at it, let's use it. If we go through some of the stats for the game, possession and territory, 55% to France, 45 to South Africa, 58 to France, 42 to South Africa. So once again, the percentages here don't reflect to the actual score, which is always interesting for me, opposed to the previous game with the All Blacks in England. It was the opposite. 2 tries a pair, pretty impressive. Amazing stuff from from Pollard, getting 100% kicking record. Well done to him on that. It's obviously very important. If he didn't, we wouldn't have gone through. But yeah, the possession and all that stuff, we need to work on that. We need to work on the offloads a bit more. From a defence-wise, not too bad. If we look at France, they only made 87 attempts to tackle. 79 of those were successful, so 91%. That's pretty impressive for France. South Africa made 124 attempts and succeeding with 102, so 82%. So pretty much similar to what we had against England, but we definitely need to work on that a bit. Discipline-wise, penalty conceders 10 for France, 9 for South Africa. Just need to work on that. At least it's come down from before, but we need to work on that in order to improve and get things. It's not going to get any easier. Scotland, we all know, they've beaten South Africa before in Scotland, so they're going to be tough. We've got Wales next, so I'm very curious to see how the boys are going to take the strategy in the upcoming games. Eben Etzebeth comes back. Warren Whiteley apparently has a calf injury, so you'll probably see Dwayne Boy going to number 8, and we'll move around there, going back to similar to what we had before, obviously with Dwayne leading the force. So yeah, very interesting game, epic stuff from the Springboks to come back and pick it up. I'm feeling for the French. I think it's always tough to lose. It's definitely a heartbreak, but I think they can definitely walk away with some pride of how they improved and showed a lot of character and strength within. They had their moments. Unfortunately, it just wasn't their thing at the end. You give away a penalty, but now the team needs to capitalise, and that's exactly what South Africa did. And going back to, sometimes when we get these opportunities, South Africa don't normally take them. We sometimes lose them. So from that point of view, I'm very proud of the team for keeping it up, and well done for Bongi being the hero of the day. Mark's better performance than he did last week. Obviously that was appalling. It's going to take time. For me, if a guy has one shocking game when he's one of the best in the world, don't kick him out, because it just loses the man's confidence. Let's focus, rebuild, and give him another go. Scotland, as I said, is not going to be easy. They're going to try and go at us hard. Obviously they didn't have the greatest game against Fiji, but they showed still heart and character, and that's one thing that we need to be careful of. We've lost in Murrayfield before. We know the passion's there within Murrayfield. We know the passion's there within the squad, and it's going to be tough. But Springboks have the team, the capability of beating Scotland, and I'm confident about that. They just need to keep calm, capitalise on situations, stop making silly mistakes. Less handling errors, less kicking for me, and more running game, playing to the strength of what we have, and that's speed and skill. Use it. Delenda gets gaps, use it. Dianti and Costi, use them. They got the speed to run around. If we do this, we will beat the Scots comfortably, but it's not going to be easy. So yeah, for me, I'm 50-50 on it. I'm stoked we won. I'm very proud of that. But we need to work on those question marks that I mentioned, especially the kicking, and find a new way in order to attack the game. Otherwise, we're just going to get caught out. Wales isn't going to be easy. I'm nervous for that game. So Gatland's going to be confident after beating Australia for the first time in over 10 years. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be epic, but I'm excited for it. It should be an awesome game. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Sorry I was late. Just had a hectic stuff with the technologies of the world, but we're back on track and getting things out. So thanks so much for your patience, and I'll see you guys real soon for the predictions and other recap videos. So make sure you are subscribed, give it a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you real soon for another video. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.